Alright. Demand. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. Oh, raise hand again. Me, teacher. The defense would like to call Mr. 𝙢𝙤𝙙𝙙 to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. 𝙢𝙤𝙙𝙙 has to say. Get the man out here, I say! Stop pulling the knife.
It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony. When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say. Oh, yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says the man must be heard.
Thanks, Foreman.
Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. A bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
I'm trying to differentiate my judge voice to the generic voice. Anyway, now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. Shit, I sure hope so.
Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. 𝙢𝙤𝙙𝙙, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord.
There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police?
Begad, no! 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all.
Just answer the question, please.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell yous all, or keep me mouth shut?
Tell us what, Mr. 𝙢𝙤𝙙𝙙?
The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true?
Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened.
You... What?
Yeah, like, that's not something I want to hear from the guy I'm defending for murder. My guy. Van Ziek is not happy.
No, Magnus 𝙢𝙤𝙙𝙙. That convenience excuse can't save you now.
I'm truly sorry, I am, Lord Van Ziek. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known that there was the wee one there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They've hauled her into this courtroom just like myself.
This is a terrible accent.
I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
Van Ziek is not buying this shit. And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. I'm on his side with this one. The prosecution calls for the witness statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
But what?
Bang.
Ah! Smoke! Ah! Fire! There's a fire! Look! Someone is trying to get away! It's no use! I can't see! What is going on?
Be careful, Mr. 𝙢𝙤𝙙𝙙. Cover your face!
Bailiff! Don't let the accused escape! Secure the omnibus! I hereby call an emergency recess. A bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff, amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. To be continued. I should have stopped here. I'm very bad at timing these things. Anyway, we continue. Also, I'm so sorry that I really try with the Irish accent. It's really, it just sounds off. I haven't heard much Irish influence in my entire life. I'm trying my best. Alright, in the defendant's antechamber, 2 hours, I think, after the start of the trial. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened. That's so fast. Mr. Sato. I was told it was an advanced... I got so much nervous energy, I gotta write it out. I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like this? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl, around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So, he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with a young girl. Who is she, I wonder? Don't worry, you'll know. And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What is it? The 20 pence. According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems there were, in fact, 5 passengers. Which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange.
Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed to the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Mrs. Sato. Yes! She's so optimistic. Couldn't be me. I would be panicking. Also, shit, we're gonna have to voice... I'm not confident with my Gina voice. Alright, back to the courtroom. Oh, there she is. There she is. Hello. Hey. Hey, girl. That's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before.
Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. And now then, Lord Van Ziet.
My lord.
I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled proceedings earlier.
It seems to have been an advanced smoke of... advanced smoke. Sorry. Yeah, no, dyslexia, not today, please. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade of the sort typically employed by the army.
Good gracious, the army? What in the devil's name?
It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. and now occupies the stand.
Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? Or what is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
No comment. Ahem. If I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGilded?
I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why is it that this wee lass here was... Why... I don't know why, if it's the scripting or my dyslexia acting up. I can't read today, I'm so sorry. Why is it that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that? It is all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Just what happened that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs information like that or anything. Yeah. I should have... I'm really going in here blind, the young girl. On the night of in question, I took the back seat on the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. Am I saying that right, begorra? There was a feller collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I sat him up in the seat across from me. Then I turned to find where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct?
Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This lass was the fifth passenger, my lord.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. That face. I think this is like a press all. Yeah, just like keep pressing. So I won't be skipping too much. Okay. The back seat of the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Hold it! And when you first got into the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either.
You were the first passenger, as it were. I see.
Aye, and that's why I took the backside as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means. 'Tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite on the one which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Vansies is just like that, menacingly. Then begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. It isn't... Yeah, this testimony is like, kind of like, what? A loud thud, you say? And a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of something falling to the ground, that sort of noise. So, you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed? Well, now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me up and I opened me eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the feller on the floor. You didn't see anyone, but at the same moment, you did hear a scream?
From the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume?
Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. but I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes. I do like his sprite. Very good. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet. Yeah, so I sat him up. You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said, I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? Judge Opus. 'Tis common courtesy, so it is.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Allah! Lord Van Zeeks? Now why would that be? How do you pronounce the ara?
You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is.
Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of work.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself entangled with that trouble.
Are you suggesting that you were just going to leave the man there?
Heavens alive, no! I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and the wherefores first.
The whys and wherefores?
Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same?
Yes, the scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing.
Then I turned to find out where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? Hold it.
Hold it! I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim.
So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, now, 'tis a queer thing, the wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside.
Good gracious! Under your backside?
And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage.
Mr. Narhoda, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember?
Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence.
This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside.
Thank you for the reminder, Susan. And that's when I find her. That's why I found her. Sorry. There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Wee is such a fun word, isn't it? Her wee self away.
You say she was hiding herself?
Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, me heart nearly stopped beating in my chest.
You're really overacting this.
Yeah, you're going too hard on the cell. Still, all in all, I pulled her out from there and sat her next to this, and sat her in the seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her.
The seat opposite?
That's right. Just next to the dead gentleman there.
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir?
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. That's because you really should change the clause of your death thing. So I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A feller's voice this time.
Presumably, that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats.
Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly. Bailey. I don't know.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McKilton. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this girl and the late Mr. Mason?
Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature.
Is that what I said? Alright.
And readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl.
After that, of course. With the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. Dramatic bow.
Thank you. I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. Are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl?
Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
What? This girl here, a petty thief.
My God, scandalous.
Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question.
Bang.
Ah! How dare you! What is the meaning of this? The girl, she's gone!
Open your eyes. I'm there.
Good gracious! How?
What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dip, I'd say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself back into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on. That's what's in your heads, ain't it? I don't know if this Gina voice is good or not. I'm going to brush up it at all. No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine that... Ah! No! Not the fart gun! No! Why green? Look, knights are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. Look at that sprite, dude, I want to do that, so cool. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs? Oh, this. Yeah, this was in a bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like pink best.
Do not wave that thing in my direction again!
Betsy is just like, I can't do this over, I need to drink. So, you admit you were riding the omnibus on that night in question? It's alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said. That's not very convincing, Gina.
The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in the case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on that night in question.
Alright, if I have to. Yeah, she seems like hesitant. Also, let me just cut